What's good, Mason here. We just came off the back of a killer launch and I thought, F it, and decided to break it down. So here's exactly how I blew up a new info offer to $174,210 in 28 days. And FYI, this isn't just an overview or a random video to post. This is the full Catalyst launch system that we use to launch info offers for clients every single month and hit crazy results every single time. It's also the same system I've helped other operators and agencies install for their clients generate 5, 6, even 7 figures. And I'm giving you the full blueprint so you can copy it fully. So let's get into it. No fluff, no guru shit, just the real exact system. If you're the one who knows you should have launched months ago, but you kept delaying because the audience is too small, I don't feel ready, what if nobody buys, then you are a total bitch. Everyone says launches are dead, but this is the same system that we are using and my students are using to cross 50 to 300k per month consistently. And if you want to see the entire machine behind the 174k in 28 days, 138k in 22 days, 37k in 7 days, 40k in 3 days, and 210k in 23 days, then keep watching here today. This video right now is for operators, agency owners, coaches, creators, everybody, anyone who wants to print with info. My agency that I run is basically automated now. My team and AI handle the complete back-end systems, and that's why I can show you everything without being a full-time guru. I'm the guy behind the scenes. I build the back-end, the automations, and the sales systems. You don't need to be a guru. You just need a system that prints, and right now is the best time to get started. And today I'm giving you the full Catalyst launch blueprint, the same system I use to take a client from zero to $174,210 in 28 days. So you can copy it for yourself, copy it for your clients, as long as you just don't sit on it and do nothing and waste your time here today, because this is the full system, step by step, that we're breaking down. So what are people doing wrong when it comes to this stuff? Firstly, they're not launching at all. People build in silence, create perfect modules that nobody ends up seeing. They have no proof, no momentum, so offers die and just stay kind of as a draft on the back end. They're overbuilding. People are creating full courses, 4, 5 hours, 10 hours, whatever, before making one single sale. They've got 40 videos, Canva designs, Photoshop graphics, fancy portals, but nobody even knows the offer exists. What are you doing? Or they're consistent launches, but they're just completely fucking up. They rinse and repeat the same shit forever, the same boring launches, the same boring systems. Their revenue's going up and down and up and down and up and down until they crash. The audience burns, you burn, and the offer dies. They skip validation, so they're skipping proof, they skip testing, and they wonder why the whole thing flopped. It's not that your offer's bad necessarily, it's that you launched blind. No feedback, no objections handled, no data, no pre-selling. And when it tanks, you spiral, you rebuild, and you stall. And this is exactly how most offers die, not from the lack of effort, but from just launching into nothing. So simply put, just give people what the fuck they want and stop overcomplicating it. And lastly, the wrong platform. People launch where they're comfortable, not where the buyers are. So some examples here. On TikTok, you're looking for awareness and demand. On Instagram, you might get more DMs and value. On YouTube, you're going to get more trust and depth. Launching on X or Twitter, you're aiming for more speed and curiosity. LinkedIn, authority. Telegram, WhatsApp, you can even do more nurturing, inner circle, broadcast stuff. And now these are just a few examples, but at the end of the day, it's just that wrong platform means you get the wrong buyers and you get the wrong data. But why Catalyst work, our Catalyst launch system? Because Catalyst launches follow human behavior, not made up bullshit. The intent curve, this is the first thing I want to show you today. Curiosity turns to clarity, which turns to the intent spike, decision window, and decay. The Catalyst aligns each piece of messaging to each psychological stage, and you can see those stages right here. That's the private launch, the public launch, the slow middle, and the huge spike at the end, the final 48 hours. The believability gap. People don't just buy the best offer, they buy the most believable offer. Catalyst makes a new offer believable in days. Not months, not years. You stack micro-proof from stage 1 before you ever go public, so when you do, you've got a huge push. And one caveat to this, if your offer is stone cold, then at the end of the day, Catalyst, this whole system I'm talking through today, isn't going to resurrect it, because what we're doing is we're amplifying volume, we're amplifying signal, but we're not manufacturing desire with Catalyst. So fix the offer first, get everything booming, and then you can run the Catalyst A to Z, and it's going to print results for you. So the two-stage system that the Catalyst launch follows goes over 2 controlled explosions. So we've got firstly stage 1, which is the private launch, and this is hidden, controlled, low pressure. It's built for validation, cash, and proof. And then you've got stage 2, later on the public launch. This version is visible, it's proof-driven, it's urgent, and it's built for scale. Most people, as you'll see online in these cohorts, these beta launches and things, they try to run stage 2 without doing stage 1. but they completely flop. They get no results. So before we talk, private and public and all these stages about the launches, you need to actually implement the infrastructure and install the systems in place. Because there's no point hyping something that people literally can't pay for. There's nothing to actually buy. So think of this as building the machine, and then the launch is kind of just turning the machine on. So firstly, the market research engine. If you're in the space, I'm sure you've heard about market research and things along these lines. There's two systems to market research. Firstly, we've got direct research. So you don't guess, you talk to people on purpose with the sole goal of doing research. So firstly, we've got calls. Now, these are going to be the best and most important in-depth method for research. I want you to go ahead and directly speak to, say, 5 to 10 people. Followers, past leads, people who voted on stories, answered a question, could have even liked a post. The goal here is to find their real pain and desire, not the surface one. So how do you do this? You want to jump on a 15 to 20 minute call with these people and use the 5 whys. And what that means is when you talk to somebody and they give you some sort of answer or insight, you want to basically dive deeper and ask why 5 times at least to find that root cause. This actually comes from a Japanese framework. You can go Google it and have a look at it. There's a lot of science back in this, but it's very, very good. It's very interesting. It's going to help you get the best, deepest desires and research out of your prospects. I hate my job. Why? My boss is on my case. Why is that a problem? You keep doing this. You keep asking why until you hit the emotional root, which is fear, identity, security. You find out the real deepest reason. And within that, you're going to take notes on the exact phrase that they use, what they've tried that didn't work out for them, and what the dream outcome, what their goals are, that look like for them as well. Second, you're going to do the market research survey on Typeform. So you can send to your list on Instagram, you can post on your story, even your close friends. You want to ask, say, 5 to 7 questions max, asking their biggest struggle with X being, whatever your market, your niche, the thing that you do is. What have they tried so far? What success would look like for them in 90 days? What they're afraid will go wrong? And if I built X, the offer, what would make it a no-brainer for you? Pull the 10, 20 strong responses, highlight lines that you can copy straight into a hook, right? Take these strongest responses and turn them straight into your marketing pretty much. Then lastly, we've got market research DMs. This is where you can literally run something as simple as an Instagram story poll, asking them if they're struggling with A or B more. Then when people vote, you can DM them. Hey bro, what's good? Yo, saw you voted B. What's the situation right now? Then you can go ahead, ask them 2 to 3 quick questions. Don't coach them, nothing crazy here. Just listen to them. Try and get the deepest insights that you possibly can. So that is how we actually do direct market research. Now, the other side of the engine here is data mining what you've already got. It's all good, right? Direct research and finding out as much as you can. But chances are you or your client probably has a lot more data and insights that they've not even utilized yet. So you want to squeeze signal out of everything that you already have. Firstly, sales calls. Rewatch or skim notes or use AI to extract it. List the top 5 objections of all these calls and all the reasons of why I booked this call in the first place. You want to look at the set of calls, the set of chat logs. Where do conversations die? What are they confused about? What gets people booked in? What doesn't? Then you want application forms. So any kind of qualification type form, look at the goals, the current income, the timelines, any kind of questions and answers that follow these sort of topics. Then you want to look at comments, emails, replies. So what are people ranting about? What are people asking for? What are they interested in? And from all of these different sources, you want to extract the 3 top core pains, the 3 top core desires, and the 5 main objections, and a bank of their exact phrases. This pretty much turns into and becomes your MVP offer, your private launch copy, and your whole stage 1 content stack that I'm going to get into now. So, firstly, when creating the offer, there's 2 types, and this is obviously for the MVP. You have low ticket offers and you have high ticket offers. So, firstly, starting with low ticket, I don't really play around with low ticket too much unless we're doing an ascension funnel. Low ticket is good for a younger, maybe TikTok audience. They need some sort of consumable product, like a course, like a community, some sort of weekly group call. There's more buyers, there's more support, and there's thinner margins. So low ticket is perfect for bigger audiences to use as an ascension funnel because you're still, aiming to have that high ticket as the goal, but we're bringing a lot more people in, nurturing them and selling them something cheaper on the front end. But what I recommend you start with, and what we use mainly, is high ticket, directly. There's no ascension funnel, there's nothing, we're just going direct. So high ticket is better for warmer, older, YouTube, LinkedIn audiences and things along those lines, or just anybody who's built up trust. Deeper access, so you're looking at group or one-to-one, implementation, guarantees. You're looking at getting fewer buyers here, but you've got way bigger margins and the fulfillment must be tight. You're working directly with these people. And for mid-ticket, the only other option, I just kind of use this as a downsell for the high ticket. So the mid-ticket is usually going to be something very simple. It's kind of going to come from the low ticket or the high ticket. It's not exactly a new product. It's usually like if the high ticket is a one-on-one, the mid-ticket might be a group version of it. Or if the low ticket is like just a course in a group chat, we might add some calls to it, and that becomes the mid-ticket. They can pay for an annual access and get calls or something like that. You don't have to create something crazy new and waste lots of time like most of these guys do. But like I said, high ticket should always be the main focus. But this is why market research is so important. And you can take a look at this access ladder here, and this kind of shows you the step-by-step, right, of what's the best level of access. But obviously that's going to be the most time-consuming. But this goes to show what your time is worth. If you're offering one-on-one calls, the price point is going to be higher. If you're offering group calls and a chat, but you're also sending Loom feedback personally to people, still very, very valuable. Just the group calls, still valuable. Community, a little bit less valuable. And you go up the access ladder, and obviously the price increases as you do. You don't need a full course. You just need a clear promise that solves a very painful problem. So you can build your MVP offer in literally just 4 lines. It's very simple. I want you to look at this, break it down, take some notes right now. So one problem, when you look at your audience that you're selling to, whether it's yours or your clients, what are they stuck with? One promise. What outcome will you give them? What can you promise them? One mechanism. So how do you get them there? What is the method, the mechanism that you use to get them to that promise, that result, the outcome they want? And then one time frame. So how fast do they see change? How long does it take you to get them to where you're going to get them with your mechanism? I help who get result using mechanism or method in time frame without the main frustration. That's your offer. You're taking them from their current situation to their desired situation with your offer that's been packaged like a present, like a gift, because you want to make it look crazy good so everybody wants to buy. So for example, one I've written here, I help beginner fitness coaches sign their first 3 clients using a low follower Instagram DM funnel without filming content. Okay? Now you want to check it hits these. Does it have a clear transformation? Does it have a specific audience ICP? Does it have a unique angle or mechanism and a realistic timeline? When you're creating a special offer, these are kind of the key points that come into it. You need to make sure it hits these main 4 here. And then obviously you have some extra options as well. If you're doing high ticket, you might want to add in payment options. You want to kind of focus on your transformation headline, the benefit rich value stack, the discounted price with an anchor to it, removing the risk with a guarantee, adding scarcity and adding urgency, social proof. If you can introduce all of this into your offer and tick all these boxes, you're going to have a perfect converting offer that should print once you follow this full system through. Payment processing, you don't need a fancy checkout stack. A lot of people ask me about this. They get stuck on it. They're like, oh, do I use this or do I use this? At the end of the day, if you're not paying up front, there's nothing too crazy to worry about with it. You just need WAP and fan bases and potentially even Stripe to at least have on the back end. I know people have lots of problems with Stripe. We've had lots of problems with Stripe, but it's still good to have there as kind of a placeholder. But between WAP and fan basis or whatever other options you've got, which ones you use doesn't really matter. I personally use both, and it's good to have options available to you. The only thing that really matters in regards to these payment processes, as long as the fees are the same or very similar, the next thing you need to look at is the financing options. So between WAP and fan basis, you're looking at all the options such as Sezzle, Klarna, Zip, Paver, Affirm, Afterpay, Split It, and I'm sure they're both getting a lot more additions soon, and even currently as we're talking today. So you want to look at the fees and look at the different options that they have, what makes the most sense for you, where you're at, the niche you're in, what can you get accepted for, what limits can you get, that's basically what we're looking at here. But at the end of the day, other than that, it's not really a big deal. That is just there to accept a payment. It's the same as your bank, it's the same as PayPal. Once it's done, tick it off and move on. So get set up on WAP or fan basis or both, and then get accepted for financing, and then test it. And by the way, PS, if you are watching this today, you can feel free to hit me up on Instagram for a private connection to WAP or fan basis, so you can get on board fast, you can get better fees, and you can get all the financing options without having to apply and take weeks and months to actually get everything sorted, because I want you to move quick and get started with this, and I can connect you with my guys on their teams. We can move quick, and I can get busted a little referral fee from their side too, which will be great. Now, once you've got your offer set up and your payment processing all ready to go, the next thing you want to do when getting set up for a Catalyst launch is creating the VSL. So this is an example of our persuasive VSL structure that you can take a look at. You can screenshot it. You can do whatever you like with it, right? The VSL is going to do the heavy lifting for the launch. It is literally just a sit-down video that sells them on taking the next step. There's a few examples here from Samuel, from Eddie, from Fredo. It's just a video. It's a video sales letter. Now, people have them where it's just talking head. Some people have them as like a Miro board or a Google Doc. There's millions of different versions of VSLs. But all you need to worry about right now is a sit-down, simple, raw, talking head, and that's it. It's a horizontal video. It's a video sales letter. So the core pieces in the format of a VSL, you're going to call out the demographic. So if you are an XYZ coach creator who's stuck at current situation, listen up. Now that's an example of one I might run. The viewer gain. So tell them exactly what they're going to walk away with. What is the outcome? In the next 10 minutes, in the next 5 minutes, in the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly how to go from pain to outcome. Talking about that transformation. Then we're storytelling. So we're talking, 80% about the problem, the desire, and then we're talking 20% about the mechanism. So the short origin and then client stories that mirror the viewer. Then we go into the pitch. So we walk through exactly what's included in the offer and how it works. You want to price it as a multi-4-figure investment or a 5-figure investment. You don't want to nerd out on all the itemized features and the value stack at this stage if you're running up a high-ticket offer. And then objection handling. You can use all the objections from your market research that you've done if you've done it properly. Such as I don't have time, I don't have an audience, I've tried stuff like this before. Address them all directly and then move on. Don't dwell on them, but don't ignore them. Just address them and move on. When you're doing a VSL, the length, everybody asks me how they should do it, the blueprint behind it, but everything is dependent, especially when it comes to length. So if you're talking to more of a colder audience, you've got a higher quality audience or a super hot audience, the timeline's going to look very different. So 2 examples I've put here. If you have a newer, low quality or just cold audience in general, you're looking at a much, much longer VSL to actually educate, warm up and sell these people. Whereas a higher quality, warmer audience, hot audience is going to be a lot less time. You're looking at, a few minutes up to maybe 10, 15 minutes. These are actually the other way around here. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Longer is fine if it's all signal, but just don't be waffling, wasting time. It's the same thing as YouTube, right? People are going to click off. And if they don't make it through your VSL, they're definitely not going to apply. They're definitely not going to book a call, and they're definitely not going to work with you. At the start, just shoot it raw, get it lightly edited. It should feel authentic, and it also means that you can move super fast. Okay. Once you have the VSL, the offer, your payment processing, everything's kind of set up. Then we need to move into the landing page. Think of the landing page as a visual version of the offer. For high ticket, you can even go straight to a type form and skip a full page out. But when you do build one, keep it simple, right? There's so many different ways you can do this. You can have a VSL with a button. You can have a VSL with the application on the page. You can have the calendar built into the page or built into the type form. I'm not going to go through every single different version here. I'm just showing you there's many ways to do it. As you can see here, some of these guys, TGR doing an opt-in funnel. Brez here, straight away, you can literally apply on this page rather than opting in, which is what he usually does. And then we've got BSM again with a straight up application page. They've got the VSL, and then you've got apply below, but obviously we've cut that off. My go-to layout, as an example, you can have a logo at the top, your hero text, your short subtext, we'll be talking about who's it for, who's it not for, embedded VSL, and then you have the option of having a CTA button to take them to the next page, to the form, or you can just have the form on there directly. Then you're going to look at adding as many as you can really in regards to wins, but ideally, 2 to 5 screenshot testimonials or case studies at the least. And then a features section if there is, software or anything complex, but if not, I wouldn't worry about it. Just focus on getting those wins in and pushing back to the application button or form. Some key rules: you want one primary CTA, pay, book, or apply. Don't scatter buttons everywhere or forms everywhere, whatever. Just keep it very clean and have one CTA. If you've got a random lead magnet, you can make it a pop-up on the same page if you need it, not another page that distracts them, or just have it as a completely different thing entirely, just so you don't get, mixed up. But if you are going to have a lead magnet, I would just have it as a pop-up. Don't have a section for it. Don't have it as a separate page. It's just going to make it more confusing. Now, both desktop and mobile layouts should be super clean. Don't have anything crazy. Don't have it as anything messy. And don't focus on desktop. It's a huge mistake a lot of people make. I actually build and optimize our pages for mobile first now. Because if you go search up the stats of how many people are going to look at your funnel on mobile compared to desktop, it makes zero sense that we're all optimizing for the desktop version first and then converting, build it for mobile. That's where your audience is. If you can't explain it clearly in one scroll, then your offer isn't ready. And if your offer's not ready, then your VSL is not ready, your landing page isn't ready, nothing's ready. So those are some key rules before we move forward here. And as long as you can tick each box, then we're good to go. The Typeform or application, your application isn't admin. It's literally just a filter. We're filtering out the bad audience to bring in the good one and making the best sales. So some of the questions to include, obviously you can customize these to your situation, your market, your audience. Firstly, to find out how much you're making and how much you have to invest. We're qualifying them financially here. Number 3 is how old are you? We're making sure they're old enough to actually buy the thing and potentially also old enough to get financing. Are you new to? We're finding out exactly where they're at. What are you wanting to get out of working with, me, the team, whoever? We're finding out here their motivations and pain points. And that's the exact same with the last question, which is what's your biggest obstacle with ... right? And again, you're going to customize these and personalize these to you, your niche. And the order here is random too, by the way. We don't want to ask them about how much they're making, how much they have to invest in the first 2 questions. I've just put these as examples, but as you can see straight away, these are going to be a little bit later on. Don't ask for stuff that you won't actually read, things that you don't really need. It's a waste, and it's going to make people drop off a lot more. Be able to look at an application as well, and know in literally 10 seconds if a call with this prospect makes sense, if they're going to buy, if they're not going to buy, if it's a waste of time. Once you've got that done, you want to look at setting up your CRM, right? Your customer relationship management. This is your command center. At this stage, it doesn't really matter. I don't really care if you're using Go High Level. You could even use Notion, Airtable. You can use Close. I'm not really too bothered. As long as you've got a CRM, you just have to use something. You could use any of these platforms. As long as you're good to go, you understand it, you're ready to start. The bare minimum stages that you need in your pipeline in a CRM is new lead, applied, qualified, booked, showed, closed, no show, and then like a nurture later, something like that. And your pipeline should look something along these lines, like one of our examples in Go High Level here. Obviously, I've put some black boxes over some personal client and prospect data. For every single person, you should always know where they came from, what offer they're attached to, how they came in, what happened last, whether it was a DM, a call, a follow-up, and then what next step that they're in as well. Once you've got the CRM done, you can actually start setting up the automations and flows, set up your initial sequences and flows to manage and communicate with everybody inside the CRM who's coming through your funnel. So set up the sequences, the flows in your CRM or any other, third-party software. A few examples here might be Kit, Beehive for email. You can look at simple texting, My CRM Sim, Blue.io, SendBlue for SMS, iMessage, but there's even more examples. There's so much examples for email, SMS, iMessage even. You can use whatever you like, whatever's best for you, and it might even just depend on, what country you're based in and what client you're working with if it's not for yourself. Some example flows to get started with in your first launch is a welcome sequence, a booked call sequence, a no-show sequence. You want to set up a post-call sequence, a waitlist sequence if you're running one, an unqualified application sequence, and an applied didn't book sequence for people who, they applied to work with you or your client. They were qualified, but they didn't go ahead and book a call. These guys are super warm. We need to get them booked in with that sequence. And we have it all set up in Kit for this offer. And as you can see, we have a Kit automation here to move them in and out of the sequences. And you can see a few different of the automations here for the OA ones too. Now, sales engine. This is the juicy stuff that people want to see. So for the sales engine, the setup, firstly, what is the actual sales process when it comes to selling info for selling high ticket? We have a waitlist and an application and an outbound set as well. So if anyone comes in from the waitlist or an application, the setter is going to dial and qualify the prospect. If they come in from an outbound set, which means the setter, the dialer, whoever, has reached out to these prospects and brought them in, then we're going to kind of skip that step because obviously they're already speaking to them. From this point, if they're qualified, the prospect gets booked on with a closer, but if they're unqualified, they get disqualified and not booked, of course. They get pushed down onto a downsell, which then they can be further nurtured for future purchases, anything we do in the future, maybe a webinar or something, to bring them back in and eventually make that sale. Now, the way that our setters and dialers and everybody on our team actually does all this stuff is because we provide them with huge Figma boards, all these different scripts and frameworks that are personalized to our clients and our offers that we work with. We provide them proper training and then we jump on calls with them. We manage the whole sales team, talk to them every single day to make sure they're dialed in, they're getting constant feedback, optimizing to hit those best possible KPIs, which is why we manage to get the craziest close rates, shop rates, and just hit good numbers for the clients that we work with. So you want to implement something like this and make sure it's dialed in rather than just hiring random guys and letting them roam free. It's not going to work out. Now, if the prospect does get booked on with a closer, when the call is booked, the setter that's involved is going to add the prospect to a group chat with the closer on WhatsApp or iMessage or something similar. And that's going to get pinged into the team Discord. And here's an example of one of those here. they're going to be getting manual and automated reminders. So we usually run 2 separate pre-call email sequences for the offers that we run. We usually have go high level or even just Calendly or something for the actual time-based reminders, depending on which offer it's on. Your call starts in 1 hour, 6 hours time, just checking in, things along these lines. But then we have a sequence separately for a heavy sequence up to 6 emails per day to pre-sell them, nurture them, storytell, handle objections, all these different things. Then, obviously, they're actually going to have the sales call, and hopefully they're going to show up because of the systems that we have in place. And obviously, there's a few different outcomes that may happen on that sales call, where ideally, the best situation, they just close and they get onboarded. Or they don't show. We have email and WhatsApp, SMS sent out to them. And then we have a manual and automated post-call flow as well. If they do show up but they just don't close, there's 3 different scenarios here where they can leave a deposit, they can be followed up with, or they can just no close in general, and that's the end. So with a deposit, we schedule the next meeting on the call because otherwise the chances of drop-off are just way higher. Then we add them to the manual and automated post-call flow. With follow-ups, we just want to add them to the manual and automated post-call flow again to get them back in. And if they just don't close, we have the manual and automated post-call flow again. Okay? And that is the kind of different scenarios from the sales call. Sales assets. This is something you massively want to kind of implement in the sales engine. So the first thing that I want to talk about the sales assets is a pre-call VSL. Most people miss this. They have a very short video. They might even just have some images, or when they book a call, they have like a normal Calendly thank you or something like that. When someone books a call with you, your team, for your offer, you need to make sure you have a proper pre-call system in place. So ideally, the first step for that is an at least 5, 10, 20-minute video that they're going to see right after booking. It congratulates them, it explains the offer, it handles 2 to 3 big objections. Basically, the role is to frame the call as a see if this is a fit, not convince me. And we're pre-selling them. We're talking about everything. We're answering all the questions they want to know. We're talking about some of our biggest case studies and everything. The next thing you want to implement as a sales asset is breakout videos. Now, the reason these are going to be mentioned straight away now is because they're on the exact same page as that pre-call video I just mentioned. Breakout videos are 1 to 5 minute clips on the confirmation page. They also can be sent in reminder emails and things like that. Each one of these hits a single thing. Questions, FAQs, objections. What happens next? Is this legit? Are you a scammer? What if I'm a beginner? What questions are the sales team getting on these calls? What is the setter getting in the DMs or on the dialing calls, whatever it might be? We want to answer all these questions with the breakout videos as well as all the objections. It keeps them binging your logic as well, instead of just scrolling other offers before the call, as well as, of course, like I said, pre-selling, handling objections, getting them ready to turn that sales call into just cash collection. Next, you've got nurture and value assets. These are videos that you or the team can just drop in the DMs. So it might be YouTube breakdowns, it could be podcasts, looms, proof posts. There's so many different options here. They educate, they show results, and they answer doubts without hard selling. So an example might be, here's a 15 to 30 minute podcast where we break down how client went from X to Y before your call tomorrow. It's going to be super valuable for you. You could send a Loom video breaking it down. You could send an agency slide deck. You could send a podcast. There's so many examples of this. And the last sales asset I believe I want to go over here is an evergreen post-booking video or voice note. So this is a quick selfie video or just a voice message that's going to be sent automatically after they book. Or you could manually do it, or your setter can send it over. And this is something along the lines of, you're locked in for time. Now, obviously, you can automate that with AI, or you can just remove the specifics of the time. You're locked in for tomorrow to make it more scalable without actually systemizing it. Here's what we'll cover. Reply confirm so I know you've seen this. It makes it personal, it raises the show rate, and it sets expectations. You can send this from your client or yourself if you're the one running the offer. Or you can have your setter or closer send this out and be like, hey man, Mason wanted me to send this over. Hey man, your client name wanted me to send this over to you to get you ready and prepared for our call. Something along these lines. There's numerous different ways to do it. But again, it's just one of those nurturing assets, making sure people show up, they confirm, they're pre-sold and they're ready to go. And lastly, I missed this one out. We've got the Proof Hub. This is just your case studies and screenshots. It's actually the most important, the best one. Here, I want you to set up one folder, Google Doc, Notion Doc, whatever it is, with any written case studies, screenshots, wins, client interview clips, anything along these lines, because then your setters and your closers can literally just grab the right asset and send it in the chat, send it to the prospect instead of arguing on price and trying to handle these objections when there's literally proof, assets, and videos that do it for them. Just like mine here, how I helped Tomek go from 0 to 138K in just 22 days. as a 17-year-old kid, still in school in Poland. Wild. How I helped Manish go from 0 to 27k per month in just 4 months with his actual agency, doing over 300k per month with one of the offers that they're running in the trading space. And how Zawa went from 0 to $12,749 in 10 days with a quick launch with a client. And he's done over $90,000 in revenue with another one of his clients as well. Now that is some perfect case studies that if we sent out, it's going to pre-sell, it's going to handle objections, because if these guys are absolutely killing it from the jump, from 0, then why can't you? For your first launch, you don't need to hire a full sales team when it comes to the sales engine. You don't need setters, closers, managers, all this stuff. People overcomplicate it. I actually suggest keeping it simple, and I actually suggest doing these positions yourself where possible when it comes to doing your first launch or your first launches. You want to scale to hire, don't hire to scale. So what do I mean by this? You want to set and close to begin with, the solo stage, so you take the calls and you deliver. This is something I always suggest for new offers launching. You want to, it's fine up to 10 to 15 clients if your back end is simple. Just like Brez, who I'm sure you've all seen, and Pierre, when they first started working together, I broke this down in a recent video. Pierre handled all the sales calls, handled everything. Only as you scale do you actually start hiring more. You start putting up job posts like this. And if you comment job, I can send you some of our job post templates that you can start using. When do you actually go ahead and add a setter? When you're drowning in DMs, applications, inbound leads, then you can actually add a setter to the team. The setter's job is to book qualified calls, not close deals. So bring on a setter, give them clear criteria, who to book, who to redirect, how to do it, the scripts and frameworks like the example I showed you earlier. And then when you add a closer, that's when you consistently have more calls than you can handle. You want to train a closer on the offer, the VSL, the common objections, your guarantee. You want them to listen to calls as well, of any previous calls that you've done, or your team's done, your client's done, so they can learn even more. And then you also want to do it on the flip side. Once they start, you want to listen to their calls, and based on that, you can tighten the script, give them feedback. Don't just hope they're good and let them rip it and let them loose because they're a closer and you're not. You need to be tuned in with this stuff, checking it all out, reviewing everything to get the best optimized system, the best KPIs. As you scale, you can hire a sales manager and delegate the sales ops to him. So you can start lean, but the goal is always where you operate the system, but you don't live inside every part of it. That's what we're looking to do here. We're looking to work on the business, not inside of it. And it's a huge mistake a lot of people make in this space, getting in the weeds of it, loving the job. And that's great, right? And you have to start off by loving it and putting the work in. But the end goal is to be controlling it from up above, where you can really handle the management. You can put people in the right places, you can hire, you can delegate. But when you get in the weeds of one role, you can't do that and you kind of lose track and you kind of have tunnel vision and lose sense of everything else. So when you're launching, you want to look at the whisper, tease, shout funnel. This is a launch strategy that's being used for, I have no idea how many years. You'll hear some of the biggest guys talk about this. It's exactly how you build demand before you pitch. People talk about this in every different world, whether it's e-com, doing physical products or info or digital stuff or sales or whatever it is. Everybody talks about and leverages the whisper, tease, shout strategy. So an example of how we use it straight away here, one example is our Instagram story sequences and our whole plan. We literally lay out our kind of custom system here. We come in, we write all our story copy, and then we plan it out day by day. So sequence, our launch is 3 weeks long. Then we plan out the exact content, Instagram stories, emails, the full flow with the whisper, the tease stages, the shout stages, when we're going to open the private launch, the public launch, close it. We have everything planned out to a T in a graphic just like this. This is just for Instagram stories, but again, we have the same exact styled stuff for every different type of content. Firstly, whisper. Whisper content is just silent signals. So we're looking to build curiosity. Curiosity tweets, short posts, blurred screenshots, something news coming posts, everything like that. So you might see here, hit the waitlist, wait, I've got some exciting shit loading. Or by the way, we're loading big style, save your pennies, no one competes with this. This is me whispering. Next, this is kind of where you start implementing mini proof and talking about the mechanism a little bit. So you've got early testimonials, you've got clips of the mechanism, the method, the strategy, and you're also showing behind the scenes builds. You're showing the BTS of the offer that you're running, of the systems in place, of what you're selling, whatever it could be. You can also start talking about case studies here, talking about the strategy. As you can see, the real playbook for outreach, finding the right person, building an offer. I'm giving people proof and I'm giving people value and the methods. And then lastly, you've got shout. This is just launch mode. So we're dropping the offer, we're dropping the full proof stack, we've got a deadline countdown, We're using this to preheat the leads. We're opening the doors, so when they open, everybody's running in, they're not walking, and we're selling all of them. Shout is the full launch sequence. It's once it's open, this is Shout. We're pushing everybody. We're directing them to buy. Within this system, this 3-stage system right here, we have all the different stuff I talked about before. We've got a wait list. We've got a private launch. We've got a public launch. All of these are implemented within these 3 big stages. So the next thing I want to talk about is the private launch. Now that is going to come out somewhere between the tease and the shout phases, depending on how long your timeline is. The private launch execution, this isn't just like cold DM spam trying to sell something. You're messaging 20 to 40 warm leads who've already shown interest from the opt-ins, past DMs, story replies, email subscribers, call no-shows, any old beta clients, free trainings, lead magnets. You get the point. Any warm leads that have came in, we're hitting them up. And you also need to hit up everybody in your research group. That's the priority. So anybody that helped you build the offer and helped you with the market research process, market research calls, they filled in the survey, the type form, they answered in-depth DMs about their situation. You want to reach out to all of these people first and basically let them know that you've opened it up. You've created the system that you spoke about with them and it's ready to drop. You're giving them early access. So your message is going to look something just like this example here. Yo, what's good? I got everything finished for the thing we talked about the other day. I'm not going to lie, half of it's built around the exact shit that you told me on the call. I'm opening a tiny private round only for the people who helped with the research before I take it public. Limited spots, if you can be specific, even better. Early pricing and way more hands-on because this is the first batch. We can jump on a quick call to see if it actually fits for you. Let me know and I'll run you through it. Obviously, you can do this way more in depth. You can do it way shorter and way simpler. You can do it in a voice note. Whatever works best for you. But this is a perfect example of a way you can reach out to the people who helped your market research and give them first grabs at your offer, and you can leverage that later on as well. Now, your simple landing page, you want one headline, one bullet list, and one CTA. We did 42 convos, 14 buyers, 70k revenue, and 4 quick win testimonials. Perfect. So this private launch validated the offer, stacked the FOMO and proof that we then needed for the public. And when I talk about simple landing page here, I'm talking very simple. We literally have headline, we have a bullet list of what's going to be involved, and we literally just have the type form embedded on there with the CTA. That's it. We didn't need anything else finished yet, because that's not the goal here. It's not to be perfectly finished, even at the end of the launch, but especially at this stage, we're just testing. We're pushing it out to those first research participants and giving them early access, but that's because we're not fully sorted, it's not fully planned out, but it doesn't need to be, because these are the warmest and the hottest leads. The 48-hour micro launch, even inside of your private launch, you want urgency, you want scarcity. So you need to run your private launch like a mini launch cycle. So for example, again, you can expand upon this, but on day 1 of your release, you're revealing and building curiosity, what we're testing and why it's not like X, Y, and Z. In day 2, you're clarifying and you're getting objections. So what you get, how it works, and why it's limited. And then you've got the close. The last call before this test group closes. You're going to treat every message, post, story like it's your first case study. And obviously, depending on what platform you're active on, you can send out this private launch however you want to, as long as it goes to the right people who are already the warmest and the hottest leads. Because we don't want to hit everybody up with this, because that's when the next stages come into play. The 72-hour activation is killer and so important for a launch. Once somebody buys, momentum is everything, especially when people are spending high ticket prices. People talk about it, and in this space, talk about info like it's a money glitch, and it's so easy. And it's kind of become a bit of a mess, and people are getting the wrong perspective of it. They're just selling air for $4, $5, $6, $7, whatever, $1,000. That is wild. So you need to create a good fucking product. You need to give people good access and help them and get good results. And a good way to start that off, without crazy time implemented and all this shit building it up, just make sure in the first 72 hours of somebody coming in, you do these 5 things. Firstly, welcome. Make them feel secure. Make them feel seen. They've just literally dropped a huge amount of money. Make them feel like they should have done that so they don't regret it. Secondly, onboarding. You can have a short Loom video or a funnel walking them through exactly what the next steps are. What is next? What's to come now they're inside? Third is a micro win. Give them one quick action step that they can complete literally today to get started and kind of get that dopamine hit. Then proof capture. So get any screenshots that you can, DMs, small wins, ASAP. So it doesn't have to be a crazy win, right? If you're starting operating or coaching or whatever, a win might be getting a client, but that's a huge win. That's a pretty big win. It could be anything. It could be sending your first DM, finding out what your offer is, finding out who you're going to target. These are all wins. You can capture all this proof and then use it as momentum, which leads us on to the next step, which is momentum. You book a call, you post a win, you post it in the community, all this stuff. This creates your evergreen assets on autopilot while you deliver. We're turning the fulfillment into delivery, and that's how we scale, because most guys focus everything on marketing and sales. We don't want to do that. We're going to have killer marketing and sales, but if you create a good fucking product, you can lap everybody, because you're going to get killer referrals. It's going to scale infinitely. You're not going to get all these chargebacks and all this shit, people churning, because you've got a good product and you're getting good results. No churn, no ghosting, no refund stress. Now, next we have the waitlist engine. Now, this isn't always super important, especially with your first launch. I don't even really recommend it with that one. But built right, your waitlist is a cash printer. We personally only run a waitlist engine on offers with high demand. We've already built it up. We've maybe run once before and everybody's, who didn't buy, like, oh, I want to buy this time. I'm hyped up. Okay, let's build a waitlist. But otherwise, we usually just sell to the waitlist inside the private launch. We don't build anything crazy out for it. But if you do want to build a waitlist, you want to set up a page with a structure just like this, having the headline and then something along the lines of, want early access to X system that printed Y results. Or I'm revealing X and Y. Anything like that. And then talk about the 3 benefits of the offer, of the system, the mechanism. Real specific outcomes. Bonus for joining. Get an additional one-to-one call and access to my 6-figure network. Anything like that. Then you want the form where we capture their name, email, their Instagram, and ideally their phone number too. How to fill it, their Instagram stories. We're testing something new, comment waitlist. We're pushing all the traffic from IG stories. We can also push traffic from a carousel, where we introduce proof, mechanism, and a CTA. You've got Twitter, X, even Threads, where we're posting curiosity tweets and threads with links directly to sign up for the waitlist. You've got client results, 247 signups in 5 days. No ads, just content and proof. That's all we needed. A perfect example, super basic from my offer that I was running, is this. I'm going to be revealing exactly how we're taking advantage of the info partner in Gold Rush and making over $138,231 per month without showing our faces, without spamming cold DMs, and without being replaced by AI. Enter your email below so I can send you private emails so you can succeed in 2025 no matter what you see on YouTube. We're in 2026 now, but this is an old example. And by signing up, you agree to never share the source publicly, so people feel super special for getting in, and to be fair, I am sharing some pretty good source as well that they can only get by being on this email list, which you can join below. They can click here to reserve their spot, and that's it, they're inside the waitlist. Now, that's when you move in to stage 2, the public launch. Why does stage 2 win? This is obviously going to be inside the shout phase, of course. 1-stage launches are emotional, but 2-stage launches are engineered. You're not sat worrying, oh, who's going to join? Are we going to sell all the spots? Are we going to make money? Because you understand it. It's a real system. You've set it up with 2 sides. There's real phases. It's orchestrated. It's not just guessing. It's not emotional. The difference, 1 stage, you go straight to your whole audience. So most people are cold or kind of interested. I just wonder what you do. You have no real proof, no data, and no idea what messaging is actually going to land. But with a 2-stage catalyst launch, first you're in a private launch to 20 to 40 warm people. You might even get 10 to 20 buyers depending on your size. You collect any quick wins, testimonials, screenshots, objections, real wording, and just people inside at the end of the day. You're building FOMO. And then you run the public launch using all that proof and language. Your whole audience has seen the results already. They've seen other people join. They trust the offer and they understand it. Why? Because catalyst launches kill what ruins most offers. Doubt. Most offers have doubt. If you've launched before, you probably didn't validate and you had a lot of doubt. Your messaging probably wasn't tested. You were trying it for the first time. So you had a lot of confusion. Nobody's seen any proof. You might not have had any case studies because you've not released anything before. If it's your first launch, you've got no clients, you've got no belief. And there's no buy energy. If you're just talking to cold traffic, nobody's warm enough, you've not posted the right content and took people through the right funnels, then nobody's ready to buy. And when you run a catalyst launch using our system, that is going to get rid of and kill all of these problems perfectly. So the launch window, the perfect launch, how you should do it, is having a launch open and a launch close, and then on average, you're looking at 3 to 10 days between it. Now, this doesn't include the whole whisper tea shout up front. This is literally once we open the sale after we've hyped it up until we close it. That is the window. I want you to understand and remember, when we do open a catalyst launch, our goal, we do not want to sell to everyone, and that's where most people in this space, in every space, fuck up completely. We want to sell to a very small minority of our audience, our client's audience, who are the most aware. So you can see the awareness funnel here. Shout out to Eugene Schwartz. You've got unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product aware, and most aware. Now, our goal here is firstly to sell people who are most aware. And of course, if they're product aware, maybe even solution aware, we can sell them as well. But we are looking for the most hottest, warmest, ready to buy buyers. And this is because with a launch, we aim to sell and target around 3% of our overall audience that are in what we call buy now mode. So if this is your whole audience, your whole email list, your whole Instagram following, everything, realistically, the goal here is just this small 3%. Of course, you can sell way more than that, by the way. But I'm just talking here about the warmest and hottest people who are going to buy straight away. And then we use all of the psychological, tricks and systems that we can to sell even more of them that as well. The daily content structure you want to be using throughout, your short form, your long form, your emails and things to push everybody to this launch once you've opened it is by dropping value posts in the morning. You could be doing, proof and testimonials in the afternoon, maybe on your Instagram story, and just driving urgency in the evening. This is going to be in the kind of back end of that launch window. But the breakdown of the email system for the emails to send out and use in your launch process. Firstly, email 1, the theme of this email is the doors opening. The focus is who is this offer for? Who is the ICP? Who we targeting directly? Call them out. Email 2, we're dropping a case study. We're focusing on deep client result. Email 3 is killing an objection. Too early, not ready, whatever. Email 4 is a BTS, it's behind the scenes. We're talking here about how the system works, we're revealing it. Email 5, again, it's social proof, it's case study, whatever. It shows your client does what he teaches. But this could be different for you, whatever it might be. You're just talking about some sort of win, result, social proof. Email 6, the final 48 hours, the scarcity push. Massively. We're pushing it, we're talking about it, we're talking about how many spots are left, how many have gone already. Then email 7, this is the 3 email close. So we're going to actually do 3 emails on this last day here. We've got morning, PM, and a 3-hour warning. You can obviously add more to this list, but the end goal of the emails is to layer value, layer proof, and layer urgency every single day within your launch window. In general, aside from the emails, the content rotation is here to keep your audience warm and engaged. You need to rotate 5 core content types. Each one of these hits a different belief gap completely. So I'm going to go left to right here. Firstly, story content. The purpose of it is it builds relatability and it shows the transformation. Plus, to be fair, it's killer these days. Story content, storytelling is popping off. The formats of this, you can do Instagram carousels, talking head, X threads as well. Whose story is it? It might be your client's origin. If you're doing it for your client, it could even be for you if you are the coach or creator yourself. Student breakthroughs and case studies, even just a prospect's pain point. So an example could be, when I was freelancing, I made $2,000 per month and had to chase clients. But after I started using X, Y, and Z system, I hit $45,000 per month. Best used early in the warm-up phase or day 1 or 2 of the launch in the open window. Next, we have mechanism content. So we talk about unique mechanism, the methodology here, the big idea, the why. The purpose of this, it builds belief in the how, not just the outcome. So for the format, we're looking at reels, carousels, X posts. An example might be the 3-step DM funnel that we use in Catalyst to convert 12 buyers before even going public. This is a mechanism. It's a 3-step DM funnel. That could be our unique mechanism. This is best used mid-launch, day 3 to 5, when people need clarity to convert and you're standing out from the crowd with your unique mechanism. Next, you've got case study content. The purpose of this, the social proof, it demonstrates it's working for others just like them. So the formats might be Instagram stories, YouTube breakdowns. You could even sprinkle this into some kind of written post on X or short form. An example might be how to make made $138K in 3 weeks with 3 simple automations, full breakdown. Obviously, it was actually 22 days, an extra day, my bad, but it's just an example here as well. Best used all launch week. Proof should be pretty much daily. You want to be hammering this all the time. This is the biggest thing for selling people. And then next, you've got identity shift content. The purpose of this is it shifts completely how they see themselves, your prospects. I'm kind of the person who can do this. The format is going to be mainly short form and Instagram stories. So an example might be, you're not stuck. You just need whatever, this system, this thing, this offer. It's best used mid-launch for, reframing their mindset or objection killing and things along those lines. And lastly, we've got direct CTA. The purpose here is it just moving people to action. So the format is Instagram stories and emails. An example might be doors close in 36 hours, want in, DM Catalyst. You can do crazy advanced story sequences and crazy good emails. This is just one example here. This is best used in the final 3 days, especially day 6 to 7, and especially in that last day for those 3 final emails. We're pushing everybody, and we're going to crank out the most sales in that last day. Make sure you're leveraging and taking advantage of all the platforms you or your client use as well. I see a lot of people do this. They'll go watch a launch breakdown on YouTube, they'll go learn from somebody, and they'll copy their exact system, but then they forget they also have access to a school community, a Telegram group, X, whatever, that the guy in the YouTube video didn't have. You need to make sure you're leveraging and posting and taking advantage of every platform and also every different post type on that platform. If you're posting on YouTube, yeah, go post long form, but you need to also be posting shorts, and you need to also be posting on the community posts on YouTube in the written style as well. Take advantage of everything. There's no reason not to. There's no excuses. It's super simple. You can just take a long form video, have even AI do it or manually do it, turn it into these different post types. You don't even have to do all of it from scratch, okay? Next, I want you to know, if you launch right now on Instagram, you're going to get the full Catalyst launch content SOP to plan your reels, stories, emails, and more for you or your clients' launches. I'm going to send you this full doc that's going to go through all of it and help you with the whole setup process. Now, moving on from there, we've got the post-launch flywheel. The end of your launch is the start of a completely new ecosystem. So what is the flywheel? It's the exact compounding system that you build after the cart closes. Every launch feeds your next. Proof, data, feedback, and content. You're not starting from scratch with new launches, you're just stacking momentum. So you've got sales, fulfillment. Is it perfect? Did everything go fine? If it did, yes, we move back into the cycle, marketing, sales, fulfillment. But if it didn't, we drop into the bottom loop, where we optimize, we learn, and we refine. So we look at the funnel, the offer, the traffic, we learn and refine and optimize everything, and once it's done, we go back into the cycle and start again. If it's not perfect, we optimize again and again, until it's perfect, we can get back into the main cycle. We do the marketing, the sales, and fulfillment, and make that money. Once you finish your launch as well, I want you to run a 48-hour debrief. How? Go and open a Notion doc or a Google doc, pull all the launch data and fill it in with all your KPIs and everything. So look at the revenue. You want to compare your projected expected revenue versus the actual amount that you got, the collected revenue, the cash, and your overall contract value. You look at the calls. So the total booked, showed, cancelled, and closed. The setting KPIs, so how many sets, dials, pickups, and actual conversations. The funnel metrics, so check all the opt-ins if you have an opt-in funnel. How many drop-offs, how many click-through rates, check everything. You want to look at the email opens and replies, finding all the strongest subject lines and the frameworks for future. The source mix, note where the best leads came from so we can hammer that down in the future. And you also want to look at the objections, scan all the DM convos, all the call notes, all the actual recordings and things to find all the objections. Then you can highlight the bottlenecks, write 3 action steps for your next launch, and store all of it in a launch vault that you can set up, something like this scorecard right here. You need to extract all the proof and feedback. So from buyers, after they join your offer, they join your program, you need to be asking them with some sort of onboarding form or even just manually, what made you jump in? Screenshot all the wins, the receipts, the DMs. Add one question in your onboarding form as well, where you ask them, what are you hoping this solves? Now, of course, there's much more examples of things you can add, and you can see some here. Information, where did you find me? What is your backstory, and how did you start your business? There's tons of examples here. Some of these are from my offer, other people's offers, so you can make this different for you and your situation, but make sure you at least add these questions here. Now, you also need to extract proof and feedback from non-buyers. So make sure your closer knows what held them back. The people who jumped on a call but didn't buy. We need to know, did they not purchase because of the price? Timing? Was it belief? Was it clarity? Why didn't they actually end up buying? Why didn't they close? And you can drop all of these insights into your next objection kill content across Instagram, YouTube, any sort of long form, short form, written posts. Then you can close the late buyers. So lastly, we want to be re-engaging with everybody within a week, using the CRM or email tags for everything. And then we can attack all the hot non-buyers with a 5-day email with proof and one last bonus. We can hit the no-shows with a 3 reminder sequence with an easy option to reschedule. We can hit all the ghosted DMs with new proof assets and a pattern break message. And then we can hit all the failed payments by resending them a link with alternate options, getting them back on a call, having the setter dial them, check in, keep talking to them, keep warming them up to get that payment across the line in the end. And for all options, we want to be adding urgency. 1 week later, posting a proof post. And then we also want to, open 5 more seats or something if you've got real reasoning and stuff to do that. If you fully shut it off, and you had real scarcity, then keep that. It's fine. We don't need to reopen any spots like that. But either way, take advantage of it, add scarcity, add urgency, and push all the late buyers and prospects who came through the funnel to close off these last deals, make that last bit of cash. Hot lead, reopen, close. No show, rebook them, then close. Ghost, we nurture them, then we close. Now, once we've finished all of this, we pulled in these last sales, we now want to systemize the back end. And how do you do that? Inside your CRM, whether it's GHL, it's Notion, it's Airtable, it could be even Close, it could be anything. Even if you're using HubSpot, whatever it might be. Inside your CRM, you'll be tagging everybody, whether they're a buyer, they're warm, they've ghosted, they're refunded, chargebacked, whatever. Make sure everybody is organized and tagged. You're going to thank yourself later. Create follow-up sequences for every single one and build simple Zapier flows for the onboarding process, payment follow-ups, and review asks. And now you've actually started with a very simple level of automations and systems. Lastly, you want to strengthen the product. So ask yourself, okay, what 3 problems are we actually solving with this offer, with this product that we have? You also want to ask yourself, what's the before and after transformation of our offer? And what moment proves progress? And then how do we improve all this stuff? You want to watch call replays and ask, where are they getting stuck? You want to drop short looms inside the product to patch all the gaps. And then you actually want to cut fluff, double down on what gets results fast. You can look at it all in this little chart here. Stack FOMO and community momentum as well. So in your group, screenshot any early wins, repost them, start week 1 wins thread, share any small behind the scenes progress, quick action step wins, anything. Outside of the group, you want to literally just be sharing straight up everything, be honest. Doors closed, here's what's happening inside. Basically start leaking stuff, right? Talking about it, showing proof, using all these moments to just open the waitlist again, stack FOMO, build it up. Mention the next round opens the next days, or we might open again in this much time. Getting people prepared and ready, hyping them up already, so by the time it comes around, you've got a whole list of people ready to jump in. So current members in the offer are going to post results just like the guys in my offer are, because when you make a good fucking product like we do, we get in people crazy results. We've got, Zawa doing over 90k revenue with one of his clients. I think he did like 12 to 13k launch in just 10 days with a new client. Tamex smashing 100k, almost 200k a month, or whatever it might be with some of the launches they're doing with their clients. When that happens, and you've got a good product that allows people to do that and gets people these sick wins, you can automatically turn fulfillment into marketing. So the current members in my offer are posting this proof, this feedback. You then want to capture all the proof, the feedback, the wins from the members in your offer. You repurpose that across Instagram, YouTube, short form, long form, X, whatever, right? With story sequences, with content, with posts, whatever it might be. Same thing with long form, like I said, case study videos. And then you want to push everybody to the waitlist, hype it up, and recycle. So plan the next move, look at all your assets, stronger proof, refined offer, better funnel, warm list, clean data. Now you can make the choice. Do I want to relaunch with all these new optimizations and upgrades? Do I turn it into evergreen? So we have soft scarcity, we have rolling applications, we have it open 24/7. Or do I take all of this, plug the whole back-end system into another coach or creator's front end, I plug it all in for them, and repeat this whole process for them? Or you could even do 2 out of the 3, depending on what you choose, right? And that's part of our full Info Scale Lab process. This catalyst launch system right here that you can see is just this one stage right here. But I wanted to break this down completely for you today because this is what makes us and a lot of our clients a lot of money. And I'll talk about the rest of the stack soon in some different videos. But this is a huge thing that people implement completely wrong. So I wanted to break down the full blueprint today of how to do proper catalyst launches and print cash with info, whether it's for your offer or your client's offers. So the offer ecosystem, at the end of the day, the Catalyst launches one offer, but the Phantom OS builds the entire ecosystem around it. So what that means in simple terms, you want to build out an ecosystem, so multiple offers. So you can have continuity, so you can have a low friction monthly community, you can have support, you can have templates, things like that. The goal here is to have cash that lands every month, whether you launch or not. You could introduce a mid-ticket offer, so a $500 to maybe like a 1.5K product that turns curious followers into buyers, and then it warms them up for bigger stuff. And you can also use this as a downsell for people who aren't ready or don't have the money for your high ticket. Upsells is another option. High ticket, it could be done with you or done for you for the top 10 to 20% who have the extra cash and they want extra help. Or maybe they're just already getting results and they want that next step. You can implement conversion cycles, which is a huge thing that we do in our agency. We basically have planned cash spikes. So you can do cohorts, you can do price jumps, bonus windows, not random panic launches. And this is different to a launch in general, because it's stacked upon evergreen. We have an evergreen running system. I'm going to talk about that in a second. And then we run these marketing cash spikes on top of it to bring in that extra money. An evergreen, like I said, is an always-on funnel that takes cold traffic into some sort of free training or opt-in to an application, to a call. So we're not starting from zero every month. It just stays live. It's making that cash on autopilot. So Catalyst gives you cash and proof fast, but the ecosystem gives you scale and LTV, lifetime value. So one good offer turns into an actual real fucking business instead of a one-time flex, because most guys in this space get lost on that. They're too busy trying to rent a Lambo and drive around. But we need to build real businesses that can make money every month, every day, every week, every year. That's what the end goal is. So before, you've got random clients, low retainers, no back end and a revenue roller coaster. But after, you've got Tomek, who went from 0 to 138k in 22 days while still in school. Luca, who went from $300 in his account to 31k in 16 days. Tyler went from 0 to 39.6k in 4 days with his client. All these different people, plus way more, they're working in different niches with the same operating system and the same Catalyst process. It's not hype, it's not luck, it's not bullshit. It's just killers plugging into the system and actually executing. So remember, I want you to move fast. So ship ugly, speed beats perfection, execute, get paid, and scale. Others are implementing while you're just researching and learning. You're one catalyst away from actually building the momentum, and that's what's going to get you the result. So if you want to do what I do and be the guy behind the scenes, I'll be honest, this isn't easy, and there's a lot more to this than just a Catalyst launch, if I'm going to be honest. You need to know a lot of things, such as how to build a funnel, how to set up automations, how to funnel hack, how to land clients, and even how to manage a sales team. There's a lot more little things here and there too, but overall it's going to fit into most of these categories. If you don't even know where to start with any of these things, it's fine, to be fair, because neither did Timek doing 0 to 138k in 22 days, Manish doing over $300,000 a month now with one of the offers he runs, which he's actually on a lot of offers at the moment. And he scaled his own agency, Profit, 0 to $27,000 per month in just 3 months. Luca went from $300 a month to 31.6k per month in just 16 days. Zawa went from 0 to 12k per month in just 10 days with one of his clients, and he did over $92,000 of revenue with a different client as well. So if you want to cut through all the bullshit and get access to all of our systems, SOPs, everything I've learned and implemented over the last 2.5 years to 3 years of doing this, you're going to get all of our AI and automation systems, plug in Poppy AI SOP templates for VSLs, offers, emails, and content, ChatGPT and Claude project templates and systems for maximized perfect output, as well as pre-built end-to-end workflows that I can't speak too much on because there's some crazy stuff building behind the scenes. Our sales and conversion assets, where you're going to get done for you. We're going to help you build done for you setter and closer scripts, frameworks, everything for your sales team, as well as done for you planned out sales assets and Loom SOPs, post-booking email and SMS sequences, reminder flows and nurture emails, as well as custom VSL script frameworks and swipe files of proven killer VSLs, printing 6-7 figures. Content and marketing, you're going to get a content playbook with hooks, video breakdowns, CTA strategies, and a lot more. Content plan templates for consistent omnipresence across tons of platforms, showing up everywhere without crazy inputs. Many chat automations and systems for story replies, lead capture, again, to print from your content on autopilot. And access to a content editor marketplace. We're going to help place editors on your team that can kill it for you and your clients. Team and operations, we're also going to give you our done-for-you team Discord setup. We're going to help you get everything set up. We're going to install the preset automations so everything's ready to roll with your Discord on the back end. You're also going to get access to our pre-built hiring funnels, onboarding flows, contracts, and test tasks for setters and closers to get them inbound and get them started and test them before you actually onboard them into your team. The sales team marketplace, again, we're going to help you hire trained reps directly and place them on your team. And you're also going to access our crazy Notion portal and launch hub that I can't speak too much on. We have a crazy system that you can literally go through step by step. It has all of the SOPs, all the lessons, everything you need built into it with checkboxes and a timeline to follow. So if you get a client, you follow the system in there and you can literally copy paste the launches that we do for our clients and all of our students are doing as well. So I appreciate you watching this one. If you are in this position, you are also going to get a private Discord channel where you can communicate with me and my team. And if you have anybody on your side as well, you can bring in your team and my team. We'll all have a chat together, or you can keep it one-on-one. You get unlimited one-on-one access to me. So direct access to me and one-on-one coaching calls at every single phase of this program, of this offer, speaking to me all the time. You also get access to our private Loom review system. So you can send over any asset or any problem where we record deep feedback looms on funnels, outreach, VSLs, sales scripts, etc. Any feedback or reviews that you need, we provide them. You get access to our full private 15-phase roadmap that everybody inside is using to get crazy results. We give you every single system that we've used over the last few years to scale all these info businesses that we talk about up. Accountability systems where we track your daily KPIs. We have milestone races to hit them and you compete with each other. Public leaderboards and implementation-based incentives to keep everybody working the hardest they possibly can, because at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. And we also have weekly group implementation coaching calls where everybody can jump in, live coaching sessions with me and successful students to help you get to that next step and solve any issues that you've got. It's wild. So if any of that sounds interesting to you and you want to work with me directly one-to-one, apply below. We'll give you some more information. You can jump on and speak to us and the team, and we'll get moving. If you're a coach, creator, or consultant directly, and you want help starting or scaling your info offer, or you might just have an audience and a skill and you want to make a start with coaching, me and my team that I've spoke about today will run your entire backend. You've seen the results that we get. We're going to run your funnels, automation, sales team, ads, as well as all this stuff here. We're going to help you build out your offering, your program, set up all the funnels, the automations, the sales systems and the revenue, the content, the traffic, the ads. There's so much involved here. I'm not going to talk through all of it, but we're going to run it all for you A to Z and implement our full Info Scale Lab process, as you can see right here. So let's fucking run it up. Book a discovery call, links below. I appreciate y'all watching. I'll see you in the next one. I hope you've enjoyed the sauce. Peace the fuck out.